Miles, thanks for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yep. So how are you enjoying Australia so far?
Man, Australia's been so cool. It's wild. I never traveled before I started working at Rooster Teeth, and then in the past, within 3 months of each other, I will have gone to the 3 places that have been on my bucket list since I was like 13, which is Japan, Australia, and New Zealand, and it's just unreal. Everybody's been so cool, so nice. The thing that caught me off guard. Never in my life have I been to another country that had larger portion sizes than America. So, kudos. I sat down, I was like, fish and chips. Is this what it's like when people come to Texas? Oh my goodness. It's been great. It's been wonderful.
That's amazing. I've never noticed it myself.
Maybe it's just the 2 places I've been to. But I ordered breakfast and got what can only be described as a small mountain of bacon. And I was like, this is great.
So... how are you finding RTX Sydney in comparison to Austin right now?
What I love about all the RTXs, which we just also announced RTX London today, and I hope that this will be the same case when we go live with that, is that I love conventions. Conventions are when, a group of people that generally are like, some people might think as weird or like, they're nerdy. It's like, this person's like way too into Batman, which is impossible, by the way. You can't be too into Batman. It's like a weekend where everyone can go, fuck yeah, I'm into Batman, which is why I have this $1,000 Batman costume that I built and assembled, and I'm going to fucking wear it, and it's going to be great. Also, I hope I can swear in this interview because I just realized, okay, great.
You absolutely can.
Baller, all right. But it's like everybody can just show up, dress up as whatever, just show how much they love what they love and just indulge in it, and I think it's great. And what I love about RTX, I guess in general, because I'm noticing it here too, is that unlike PAX or New York Comic Con or all these things that are incredibly fun, some people go to PAX for the games, some people go for the panels, some people go for movies. But everybody at RTX has at least one thing in common, which is they at least know a little bit about Rooster Teeth. And I love that because you immediately you can have a conversation with anybody at any point. You can be waiting in line and go, so you like Camp 2? And then bam, you can make a new friend right there. And there's something about that I think is really cool that I really love. RTX Sydney's been great.
I can say that, yes. On the way back from meetup last night, I came across some random people in Rooster Teeth shirts, and we had a long 10-minute conversation just talking about Jeremy's website jokes he makes in Let's Plays.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, and it's stuff like that I think is you don't see as much at other conventions, and I think that's something I think is really cool.
Yeah. So here's a RWBY related question. What's your favorite fairy tale?
My favorite fairy tale? I'm a big fan of... This is a hard question. I remember as a kid, I had a book called The Stinky Cheese Man. I was a big fan of that. A bit of a twist on the gingerbread man. If I recall, it was about this stinky cheese man that was like, oh, you can't catch me, I'm the stinky cheese man, but like nobody wanted to chase him at all because he was just gross stinky cheese. People just didn't want to deal with him. I like that one, but I guess I also like, there's a bunch of really interesting ones, like Rumpelstiltskin is a super weird fairy tale that's like, whoa, this shit's dark, and I don't know. I'll have to stick to my guns and go, The Stinky Cheese Man is my favorite fairy tale.
The second half of that question, I think I know the answer now, was we thinking of incorporating some sort of fairy tale like that into RWBY.
We incorporate a lot of stuff into RWBY, both fairy tales, mythology, historical figures, and that's always really, really fun. And we're not done. Show ain't over. So we still have a lot more cool characters to introduce and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it.
Oh, I'm glad.
It's another question for you. The Volume 4 finale is going to be shown tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If I go there, will I cry at the end of it?
I think so, but I'm not going to tell you why.
That's all I need to know.
I won't tell you if they're tears of joy or sorrow. Maybe you won't. Maybe you have iron nerves.
If you do anything to Weiss, I'll cut you. Weiss is my favorite. Here's a question for you. How do you typically overcome writer's block if you ever come across it?
That's hard. I mean, nobody knows. Nobody has like a surefire way because if they did, they'd be a millionaire. For me personally, I pace a lot. Like I cannot.
Yeah.
I have a hard time staying in one place for a long time. I'll go on walks and I'll just try and get away from my computer for a while. Sometimes I'll watch old episodes of whatever show it is I'm working on, and that will help me like remind me of the voice, remind me like this is like this is the tone, this is what I like, these are the characters I love. But yeah, sometimes you just have to put it down and walk away for a little bit, and then God, maybe you'll just be having a conversation with somebody, and then suddenly, oh, that's it, and then you go back. Inspiration will come at the just most bizarre times, but I don't have a surefire way to cure writer's block, unfortunately.
That's fine. Does the writing process differ between what show you're writing for?
Oh, absolutely. So, for instance, Camp was the first show that we did that incorporated a writer's room approach. So, Carrie, Gray, Jordan, myself all get together. We come up with the episodes together. We will kind of break down the treatment of each episode. Then we all assign ourselves episodes, go off. We'll come back, we'll go through a round of notes on the first draft, go off, come back, one last round of notes, and then typically Jordan and I will do like the final pass since Jordan's the director and I'm head writer for animation. We'll do like punch-ups, we make sure everybody's cool with the changes. If not, we'll talk about it, and then we have an episode. With RWBY, it's like Carrie and I go and fuck off and try our best to write something that people will enjoy.
9 volumes down the track.
Yeah, dude, we got a lot of show left. Hopefully, as long as people keep watching it.
Very exciting.
So yeah, Carrie and I, this past volume and a little bit of volume 3 was hard just because like Carrie is so busy directing. Like directing and writing at the same time is a nightmare, and I don't know how he does it. But there were times where like we would kind of have to choose scenes and then go off and write those, and then we would come back and kind of like trade and like give notes and suggestions for each other. And that's how we got through a lot of volume 4. But ideally, we'll be able to go off in a room together and stuff. And then with Red vs. Blue, that's just me watching a lot of the Blood Gulch Chronicles, and then just, I don't know, doing my best. But season 14 was very different, and then in season 15 we got some more newness going on. But yeah, every single show so radically different, not just in how it's done, but then of course the voices of the show. It's like the comedy for RWBY is typically very like genuine and sincere, whereas the comedy for Red vs. Blue is very mean-spirited and sarcastic. So there's differences like that too.
Is there a favorite character or / show that you have to write for?
I absolutely love Camp. Like I'm so fortunate to work on all the things that I do, and I love each one of them for different reasons. Camp is super close to my heart, and I just love everything about it, and that one too, because like Red vs. Blue and RWBY, there are like some very serious stakes in that show, and whenever you introduce drama, there is this kind of expectation that is set by the viewer. But with Camp, which is 99% comedy, there's less pressure, I guess. You just kind of go, let's just kind of fuck about and have fun. And when it comes to Camp, I love the Flower Scouts. The Flower Scouts are without question my favorite characters because they're just awful, but I don't really think they realize it.
Lost my track here.
Oh, no, you're good, man.
So you wrote the Camp theme song, did you?
Mm-hmm.
How on earth did you go about writing that?
So I've always really enjoyed music. I've played a bunch of instruments, none of them well. I tried and failed at violin, guitar, drums, and saxophone, and I'm trying to learn piano now. But I've always loved music. I did like musical theater in high school. I grew up with the Animaniacs, which like they blend humor and comedy just flawlessly, and that was a huge inspiration for the musical style of Camp. And then I was in the Boy Scouts, where you sing, you do camp songs and stuff, which is hokey, I know, but if you can just set aside how dumb you feel, it is pretty fun. So that was just, when it comes to, I've worked on Camp for music, and then I worked with Nico Audi Roland for the musical episode of RWBY 14. And for me, I have to come up with the melody first, and then at that point, it's like this fun word puzzle, because you know how many syllables you can use. So then it's a game of finding words that rhyme that also fit within the right syllable amount. And I love that. Like, word puzzles are super fun for me. So it just, because I can't read or write music though, it's just me humming a tune into the Memos app on my phone, and then making slight changes to it, and then like 20 memos, and several days later, I will then have the melody, and then I have to pair the words to it. It's a very weird way to work, which is why I'm trying to learn like sheet music and stuff now.
Yeah.
But it's very fun.
Very interesting. So with RWBY, is there anything you are allowed to tell us about Volume 5?
It will be continuing the story, and
Okay, that's good to know.
there will be huntsmen and huntresses in it, and
that's good.
we're going to be seeing a lot of Mistral.
Okay, that works. That's about all I expected from that. I believe that's everything.
Oh, awesome.
So, thank you for coming.
Dude, yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun.
Fun to talk to you.
Yeah, I believe we did announce that, so yes.